And we have swapped weapons to the bayonet. This is an interesting weapon archetype in the game. You'll find different varieties of this. It does allow for both ranged and melee combat. So you'll need ammunition to do the ranged, but it's got quite an interesting moveset, as you can see, in melee range as well. So this is a really cool sort of versatile playstyle that you can employ if you like bayonets. It's pretty useful here in this area here as we're trying to navigate these narrow corridors and two ranged enemies that are shooting us from afar. So the bayonet will let us shoot back, as well as get in their face. So depending on how you like to play, the bayonet might be a great option. There's multiple options for you to check out as you go through the game, different archetypes. Of course, the bayonets, again, they do need ammunition, so we might have to reload here soon. As you can see there. And as you can see, Noah, our companion Noah, is talking to us right now, but you don't see him on the screen. That's because he's currently assimilated. So in this game, you're going to have a partner or a companion, but you can choose whether that companion is active and out on the field, or you're basically assimilating them to tap into their powers. So we're getting some bonuses, as you can see reflected at the bottom of the screen. We're being buffed by Noah right now, even though he's not out on the field. So if you like to play solo, or if you like to play with a companion, you can fit the play style to that. Now we've moved a little further along in the ruins. We're using the runic blades. Quite an unusual weapon, as you can see, sort of hovering behind us. It's a very unique playstyle and very different than a lot of the other melee weapons in the game. And as you can see, the bow can come in handy in combat as well with a quick flip. And we're going in there. There we go. And yeah, in these ruins again, lots of little things to pick up as you go through. So here we are. Now we're heading to the first major boss of the game. And as you can see, we've got our partner Noah with us to help on this fight. He'll be trying to take some of the boss's attention, doing some damage. Every partner has their own special abilities and attacks that they bring to the table. So really handy to have during these big boss battles. But of course, you're still going to have to be doing quite a bit of dodging, blocking, getting in there, and learning the boss moveset as well. You can see we've accumulated quite a few bleeds on the dejected assailant here. So once you've got an enemy nice and bleeding like that, you can capitalize on that with the jail item, which we haven't talked about a whole lot. This is an auxiliary weapon type, and it comes in different forms. So you'll probably see one of them coming up here as we capitalize on what we've done to him. Getting some heals in. And of course, you're going to want to keep your I-Core high so you can continue to use your special abilities and powers, which will make a big impact in fights like this. You can see we've got a stagger on him there. Now we're going to execute an attack with our jail. It gives you an AoE attack, sort of a cone attack in front of you. And of course, you'll crit with the jail as well anytime you've staggered an opponent. So here we're moving into Phase 2. As you can see, our boss has kind of lost his head. There was a cinematic here involved with the Phase 2 transition, but we're keeping that out so we can keep it a surprise later. But with that, he's gained new abilities as he's now holding his head, and he has a whole new moveset due to that. And you'll see here we're getting in there with that slash. The starter sword only has one special attack, but it's still very useful. Here we're charging up our jail. Look at that. Getting in with the jail can attack by itself as well, so a nice little spinny scythe attack there with the Reaper jail. And the jails come in different flavors, so depending on your playstyle, you'll pick one that fits the situation. Got the boss back in the corner here, doing some really, really great damage. Of course, with his head now on his arm, he's got all kinds of different attacks, including head lasers, which you never want to mess with. Ooh, this isn't looking very good. Oh, well, that was a really good attempt. So before we take you into the action proper, we've got to create a character. And Code Vein 2 features an extremely robust character creator suite of options. Right now we're looking at some of the presets that you can pick from, but you can create your character down to the last detail. eyes, hair, scars, all kinds of different things that you can tweak and design to your exact specifications. But if you feel like just picking one of the presets and getting right into the action, you can do that too. As you can see, we have all kinds of different hairstyles, all kinds of different options for you to pick from. And you can spend a lot of time in this character creator. I know I have. And you can get things just right. You can spend hours in here if you want. But you can also just take a preset. The presets are also awesome, and they come with some really cool outfits. But you can, again, it's not just setting your makeup. It's not just setting your eyes. You're going to be picking your outfit completely. Hats, accessories, masks, capes, whatever you want. You know, they're all here from the very serious to the very goofy options. They're all available for you, depending on what you want to do. I mean, look at these hats. Look, I definitely want to go with... Look at those ears. I want some of those. I'm getting a pair of those. So that's my character. But you can create yours however you like. And as you can see here, it extends to full outfits that you can have too. I'm thinking you might spend a lot of time in here if you're one of those players that likes to really customize your character. And if you don't, that's what the presets are for. Just grab and go. Once you've got your character set up to look at, you can change all these other aspects of it too. Get the great screenshot, share it with your friends, and we're getting right into it.
Excellent. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance at last. All right then. I need you to wake up now. Ah, you've come too. As I feared, the memories may still take some time to return. Forgive me, I certainly didn't mean to startle you. My name is Lou Magmel. I am a revenant. Bear with me, for this may come as a shock. You have died once already. This is where I used a ritual to resurrect you. I gave half of my heart in order to restore yours. As a consequence, we now share the same heart, you and I. We are two lives intertwined as one. You seem well, all things considered. I'm glad. Do you think you can stand? There is someone that I'd very much like for you to meet. I know it's all new, but it's okay. You can trust me.
Another world snuffed from existence. There's only one way to prevent this tragedy before they reach the point of no return.
I'll use my power to transport us back to a time before the upheaval. Once we're there, hopefully we can make contact with each of these legendary heroes. A battle to save the world from ruin. Let's go. Wherever you go, I will always be by your side.
My name is Valentin Voda. So, you're a solo hunter, are you? Tell me, do you have a place to stay in Magmel yet?
A revenant hunter?
Not now. Get away from here.
Well, can't say I remember hiring you, but if you're game, lend me a hand. And Valentin, he'll be the most powerful figure out here on the frontier.
The hero Jose, a revenant who fell victim to her very own powers.
So tell me, my mysterious visitor, who are you? In the name of the great Gula bloodline, I do bestow upon you my blood, as proof of our engagement. Until the resurgence struck, these horrors must have been the city's residents. Let's go. It's high time I faced my past.
When the balance of power shifted from human to revenant, there was change. Dramatic shift. The human spirit was twisted beyond recognition.
If someone has to get hurt, I would rather it be me.
So far as I know, your case is entirely unprecedented.
Off to kill again?
We all know these are bloody times we live in. Every one of us is desperate to survive. But you crossed a line killing my people.
Raiders making their move, huh? That should at least give you enough time to escape. That ring! Damn it! There's no getting through to him. Curs! Damned wretched curs! They would dare to truly stoop so low!
Do you remember the statue of that revenant I showed you in the present? If fate runs its course, Noah will die fighting the raiders, and the others here won't fare much better.
Need I remind you that tampering with history, unless under the most extreme of circumstances, is strictly forbidden? What will you do if your meddling ends up costing more lives?
Meddling with the past, meddling to excess. There's always a chance it can potentially reverse all the progress you've made so far. Please, give it some careful thought. Above all else, try to weigh your feelings against what is at stake here.
And just like that, we are off to the races. This is Lou. Lou is the first character in the game we're going to meet, and a character that's one of our companions. You'll encounter many of these over the course of the game. Lou is a Revenant who has a very, very special power in this game. In fact, the only Revenant that can control time. So this will be very important as we move through the game, her special ability. And like all companions, Lou will also travel with you and fight with you. Each companion has special abilities that they bring to combat, and you can also assimilate your ally for some extra bonus powers, but we'll talk about that later. For now, we've just started the journey here in Mag Mell, and we're going to be heading out into the world. So this island of Mag Mell is sort of a tutorial area for the player to get used to things before heading out into the greater world. So we'll get a taste of the action here.
Is the tower on the hill.
And you see we just picked up some flour there. You can find all kinds of useful consumables in the world that you can use to craft helpful tools and items. So obviously things like flour and other food items will help us make some tasty treats that might give us some bonuses, buffs, or healing.
Conventionally known as enchantments, curses, and the like.
Another world snuffed from existence. Luckily, the residents were all evacuated in time, thanks in no small part to your efforts. My name is Lavinia Voda. It is I who carries on the great Idris's mission and legacy. It is you, though, who must save the world of man.
So these Lavinia and Lou are basically going to be your companions here at the beginning here to get you through this. The concept of we're going to travel to the past to save the present. Essentially, it's a Code Vein 2 hinges on time travel as a huge element of it. So basically, we're going to go to the past to save the future, more or less. So that's very important here in establishing the plot. We've now entered a ruins area, which is sort of an introductory dungeon area. And here you're getting a quick taste of the combat. We're getting some blocking, some rolling. You can see these little slashes accumulate on the enemies there. Those are bleeds, and we can capitalize on that by attacking with the jail item, which will give us Ichor, which is the resource we're going to be using to facilitate our special attacks and special abilities. So it's very important in the pace of combat to, you know, put some slashes on the enemy and then essentially acquire them to keep your pool of resources high. With this introductory sword, we've got this nice little, as you can see, sort of a dash lunge attack, which can help us close the distance damage very quickly, get in and out of combat easily. It's a very useful introductory move that you'll have on your starting blade. As you can see, we're maneuvering around the enemy here, getting behind them, executing a nice little stagger and a crit attack. Those are going to do tons of damage. Great way to take out opponents. As you can see, in this smaller dungeon, there's still plenty of little items to find, consumables, and more important items as well. We're swapping here to a different weapon. So here we have the Statesman's Longbow. This is an awesome way to do damage at range and also fire at targets across that are too far for you to hit. This does consume the Ichor resource, so you'll have to be replenishing your supplies of that as you move through the game. This is actually in a side category of item called Bequeathed Forme. And there are different things that you can put in this slot other than the bow, but those are going to be kind of a surprise, so we're not going to tell you what the other ones are. But you'll see the bow used here. We can use it to take out this target at range, like so. And this is actually a very important map object that we've just destroyed, and it will unlock large chunks of the map for you to see in the overworld. And now we're going to skip ahead a little bit into the next section of the ruins.
In the name of the great Gula bloodline, I do bestow upon you my blood, as proof of our engagement. Until the resurgence struck, these horrors must have been the city's residents. In other words, all the people I couldn't save. The gaps are getting shorter. As long as I have 2 legs to walk and 2 arms to fight, I will give everything I have to keep the city's hopes alive. Remember me? How lovely to see you again. For all I lost that day, for all you took from me, let justice be done. Today, you'll pay your...
Time. For some, it heals. For others, it wounds. And for our world, it promises only oblivion. Our hopes lost long ago. But you have the power to change all of this. If time were a weapon to wield, could you undo the sins of ruin? In this time, or maybe the next, you'll find how to save us all.
Code Vein 2 is an upcoming anime gothic action RPG developed by Bandai Namco Studios, serving as a full-scale, next-generation sequel to the 2019 cult classic Code Vein. Building on the original's blend of vampiric dystopia, stylish combat, rich character customization, and emotionally charged storytelling, the sequel expands the universe of revenants, undead warriors sustained by blood, into a more ambitious narrative that delves deeper into the metaphysics, cosmic origins, and psychological consequences of life after death in a broken world. Where the first game explored personal trauma and identity within a collapsing society, Code Vein 2 escalates the stakes to a global and temporal crisis that challenges the very nature of reality. Set in the distant future, where the already tenuous coexistence between humanity and revenants hangs by a thread, the story begins when a catastrophic celestial phenomenon known as the lunar rapacis tears through the sky. This event emits a resonant energy that agitates dormant blood veins across the planet, triggering a chain reaction of frenzied metamorphosis. Millions of revenants, unable to control their thirst or contain their frenzy, mutate into grotesque, uncontrollable horrors, overwhelming the remaining bastions of civilization. The surviving enclaves, enclaved behind fragile blood barriers and dwindling resources, are thrown into panic as the world threatens to collapse into unending corruption. Players assume the role of a newly awakened revenant hunter, an individual with anomalous resilience to the lunar rapacis' effects. This hunter emerges from a sealed crypt beneath a ruined cityscape and is immediately confronted by Lou, an enigmatic girl who possesses the rare power to access and manipulate temporal echoes, lingering impressions of the past that have become unstable since the celestial disaster. Lou believes that the hunter is uniquely tied to the origins of the Rapaces event, and that together they must traverse both the present-day wasteland and distorted, memory-fractured past timelines to unravel the truth. As the hunter delves deeper, they uncover hints of secret pre-ruin experiments, forgotten revenant prototypes, and an ancient cosmic presence whose awakening may be linked to the fate of all life. The sequel enhances every core system of Code Vein. Blood codes, the unique ability sets that function as class archetypes, return in a far more flexible and modular form. Instead of static roles, blood codes can now be combined, modified, and dynamically shifted mid-combat, enabling intricate hybrid playstyles such as tank caster mixes, agile bleed-focused duelists, or heavy weapon specialists with long-range vampiric abilities. Blood draining techniques have also expanded dramatically. Draining enemy ichor can empower new blood arts, special attacks, and supernatural abilities tied to both weapon type and chosen code. These can include spatial rifts, blood chains, illusion strikes, or gravity-distorting moves, emphasizing a combat rhythm built around precision, timing, and adaptive transformation. Enemy design has grown more unpredictable and aggressive. New horrors exhibit pack behavior, morphing phase transitions, counterattacks, and corrupted abilities affected by the lunar rapacis, forcing players to read attack tells, exploit elemental weaknesses, and use the environment strategically. Boss encounters in particular have been re-envisioned as cinematic duels with dynamic arenas, shifting timelines, and story-driven transformations that visually reflect the character's internal suffering or corrupted memories. A defining feature of the original game, the partner system, returns in enhanced form. AI companions now respond intelligently to player tactics, enabling synergy skills, coordinated assault maneuvers, defensive rescues, and blood resonance bursts that unlock unique abilities depending on which partner you bond with. Companions grow as characters through narrative arcs, shifting dialogue, trust-building mechanics, and the discovery of personal echoes tied to their pasts. These relationships influence not only combat effectiveness, but also emotional beats in the story, offering branching interactions and alternate outcomes. Character creation has undergone a major evolution, offering deep customization of body proportions, facial structure, eyes, scars, tattoos, clothing physics, ornamental accessories, combat animations, idle stances, and even voice modulations. The series' iconic anime gothic aesthetic remains intact, but is significantly more expressive and grounded, allowing players to craft hunters who feel both fantastical and emotionally textured. Structurally, Code Vein 2 positions itself as a cinematic, deeply story-driven adventure that unfolds across interconnected regions tied to both present and past states of the world. The Lunar Rapacis's temporal distortions have fractured reality, creating areas where past decisions, ancient battles, and forgotten histories bleed into the modern landscape. Some dungeons shift layout depending on the timeline entered. Certain bosses may appear in altered forms when confronted in different eras. Locked paths, characters, and lore are accessible only by weaving between timelines. These mechanics feed into the game's themes of destiny and regret, presenting a layered world where each ruin hides not just physical danger, but the emotional remnants of choices long since buried. Now you can enjoy some screenshots without any interruption. Enjoy!